For this project, I want to make a picture of a monkey. And I've already drawn several of these so that I can show you how we're going to be working. We're going to start with these two lines right here. And then we'll put the eyes beside it, wrap the lines around it. Then we'll move down to the nose. And finally we'll get this rounded shape, kind of oval but kind of triangular too. We'll get that shape and the mouth. Then we'll work on the head. Now you can see how I've got the body drawn. You can draw it entirely different. On the new one, I'm probably going to put him in a shirt and tie. I like to do different things when I draw, and you're welcome to make it any way that you want it. To get started, I recommend you put your paper in the portrait direction. Now here it is in the landscape direction, and it works okay. But there's not much room at the top of his head, and that's even okay too. But I'm going to do this one in the portrait direction. And to get started with that, I am going to put my finger in the middle and then just slide up a little bit. I want two lines side by side like that. And how tall are they? Well, they are bigger than my finger by a little bit. Actually, I'm going to make them a little bit taller than that. About like toothpicks. Maybe not quite that big. Alright, near the bottom of these lines, I'm just going to go like this for the bottoms of the eyes. Now just let your eyes tell you what to do. You need shapes just like that. Let's go with a rainbow shape. There's one. Let's do another one. Two more over here. And that makes the eyes. I like to leave a white spot in the dark part of the eyes. It just makes your characters look more lifelike. And I like to go ahead and darken them in because it just makes it look better, in my opinion. It could wait, but it doesn't take that long to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and darken these in. Now take your time. Don't get in a hurry. Alright, we've got two eyes. Now we're going to put some eyelashes on it. You can do yours different. If you know another way and you want it different, you can do that. Okay, now I'm going to come down beside the corner of this eye with a new line. It's going to end about right there, and on the other side I'll just put a dot just to mark the end. And I'm going to get my pencil right there. Actually, it's going to be the marker in a minute. And I'm going to go around just like that on both sides. Kind of a rainbow shape. It's just a rounded shape that wraps around the eyes. And I'm drawing with a marker because you can see it better. But when I'm drawing otherwise, that's not for a video, I use a pencil. Because it's really, really hard to correct anything if you make a mistake with a marker. As a matter of fact, you pretty much can't correct it. I'm going to put a dot right there, and I'm going to just go around a little ways, and I'll put some markings in there like that. Now we're going to come down and work on the nose, and then we'll get this big piece. So just put your finger there and slide down, and you want a shape like that. The center of it should be lined up right there. That you could actually put a dot there and then make two lines like that. That's not all of it. We have to curve around, with two lines that look like that. And just make it look like that. Let your eyes tell you what to do. Your eyes are very powerful. Now I'll show you, we're going to do this round piece. It can be more of an oval, it could be more round, it could be stretched out this way. So there's a lot of ways you can do this and it'll still work. So don't worry about getting it perfect, just get it your best. I am going to do it with a pencil at first though, because I want to see it before I darken it in. And with a pencil I can sketch, which means I'm just making a light line that's easy to change. Sketching is not just putting a pencil to the paper and just stretching out a line. It's stroking that line into place so you can kind of observe what's happening as you go. And the reason I'm still working on it, because this side and that side, if this is the middle, it's not symmetrical. I really want it to be, so I'm just going to go ahead and stretch this side out some more. Now I'll darken it in. And like I said, it could be a lot of different shapes as long as it's sort of rounded or oval shape. Mine ended up almost a perfect oval actually. Then just go somewhere down in here and put the mouth, which I'm drawing curved because I like my characters to smile. All of my characters are happy. And you know, when I brought that around, I still followed the wrong line, but it's okay. You know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to put 3 lines like that, and I think that's it for the mouth. Alright, next, it gets a little bit confusing because there's a lot of similar lines up in here. But we're going to put a dot and we're going to come around and we're going to hook on down here onto this oval shape that we just drew. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my points. I'm going to go about right there, and I'm going to mark a dot, and I'm just going to make a little starter line right there. And I want to jump straight over. It doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but it'll look better if it's kind of symmetrical. Now I'm going to put my finger there just to get some spacing and go up. And now it's just coming around, and coming back right on to that little starter line I made on both sides. Not too hard to do. These aren't perfect. None of this is perfect. If it had to be perfect, well, I don't know, I guess I wouldn't be doing it. All right. Okay, I'm going to make a change. On this one, I've got the ears attached to the part we just drew, but on the new one, I'm going to draw the outside of the head, and then I'm going to put the ears on. So let's see how that works out. It's another one of those lines that wrap around. So I'm going to go ahead and get my dot. This time, I'm going to put my finger there and just jump over and get a dot over in there. And these are straight across from each other for the most part. Maybe not perfect, but can you even see them? Here's one, here's the other. Now, we're going to have to go up, just put your finger there and push it up, get a dot. Once again, I'm going to sketch to here and to here. I'll get that much of it. And then I'll darken it in. And I am going to make the hair come out like this. There's different ways we could do that, but I'm going to go ahead and just stretch it out that direction like that on both sides, and we're ready for ears, which are just big round shapes. I'm going to go across from here and I'm just going to make it big and round. Take your time. Every now and then I pause just so people can get caught up a little bit. And then here's the hair, and I'm going to make my hair like you see. And yours can be however you want it to be. It looks like a monkey to me. I hope you like your drawing and that it's going well. Get rid of some of those old lines. And again, I usually do that later, but while you're getting caught up, if you need to get caught up, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those. I put those dots down every now and then just to guide me to a point or a place, but it doesn't have to actually hit the dot in most cases. Sometimes it does. Alright, now I'm going to draw my character wearing a suit, but you can do yours different. Here, this one, I just put him like in a sweatshirt, and then you could write something on that. You can go ahead and start getting ideas for your creative thinking. If you want to do something entirely different for the rest of the picture, you can. We've got the shape of a monkey's head, so from here, if you've got ideas, use your ideas. But I'm going to go right there, and I'm going to make a W, but I'm going to do a strange thing. I'm going to make the middle of the W first, and then I'll put the outside pieces. The tie, and you don't have to put a tie. I just like playing around with these things. It's just fun. I just enjoy it so much. 2 little buttons to hold that collar down. I think I'll come back and get the shoulders in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and stretch this tie out like this. I'm going to run off the edge with mine. You may not run off the edge with yours. I mean, you may not need to. You may have enough room to draw the bottom of a tie, and if you do, it's just a V. It's just a V shape. Just a stretched out V like that for the bottom of the tie. Then I usually put something to show that tie is clipped to the shirt. That does help hold it in place. For the shoulders, I'm just going to come in here and I do 2 slanted lines that are about the same slant as a coat hanger. Now I'm going to bend this line, get back on the end and bend it, and I'm just going to come down like this. Again, it's going to run off the edge of the paper. And if I were doing this in the landscape direction, I could show you this hand raised like that, but I wanted more room over his head. I wanted more space around his head. So that's why I chose the portrait direction for this one, but I'm going to do the same thing, bend that around and bring it down like that. Now I put my finger here and I just go parallel, 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 side by side. Same direction, evenly spaced apart. And I'll do that again over here. Again, yours can be different. And I a little bit regret not being able to show you the hands, which maybe I'll do that on a separate sheet of paper. If you're drawing the hands somewhere, I'll show you that separately in a minute. But for now, I'm going to put a couple details there, which you like you see. I'm going to hook back onto this line. I'm not going to come all the way over my finger and make a dot. I'm just going to put a dot right there. It gets confusing when you get a lot of lines that are very similar, that are close together. It gets a little bit confusing, so you have to think about what you're doing. This time I'm going to make a line like this and this. And now that shows the arms. If you want your monkey to have some designs on the shirt or whatever, you can. I'm just going to put a pocket on mine, maybe about right here. And again, you don't have to do the pocket. You can do something different. And this monkey is going to have a cell phone. And I think that's it. The rest of it would just be coloring. I am going to draw a line that separates the foreground from the background. I do that most of the time. It could just be filled in. It could just be a solid color background, and that would work great. That would work great. But I'm going to draw it as if the sky is separated from the ground. So this will be green, this will be blue, and since that's going to be sky, I think I'll just put a very small sun up in the corner here. It's just a place to put some bright color. I like to put bushes usually in there. It just gives a dark line contrast, or a dark area to contrast with the two light areas. And I use that a lot, a lot. And you don't have to do this by any means. On that other sheet of paper, when I show you how to draw the hand, I'll show you also a simple way to make kind of an illustration of a banana tree, in case you're doing yours differently. And that's what I've got right there. Let's see now about the hand. If you were drawing the hand, let's say this is the arm coming down from the shoulder. Maybe there's the shoulder and here's the arm coming down. It would go up, and I usually start there and get wider as I come down. I draw this part backwards. That is, I normally start at the bottom and just go up, but I do that backwards because I want that space to get wider, and then I just deal with the elbow separately. And that's how I draw an arm, generally speaking. For the hand, I start with two pieces that angle out like that. For the thumb, I usually bend it back just a little bit, and then this is just an illustration. It's not meant to be a highly realistic drawing of a hand. If it were, we would have spent the entire time just drawing the hand. And I was showing you, or saying about drawing a banana tree. So there's the ground. It's like this. And then finally it comes off. Now this is hard to do. I have to kind of slow down and think my way through it because it goes back like these little hooks. Comes out and goes back. It comes out and it goes back. And it just takes a while to do it. And you do that 4 or 5 times, and then you draw the bananas. So I'm going to kind of go fast track on this, do this a little bit quicker, because I've done this pattern a lot, and the more you do it, the quicker you get at it, but I still make mistakes. This works also for leaves on a palm tree pretty well. And then for the bananas, I just draw one banana and then wrap a couple around the sides. And they come in clusters. So if you look up a picture of a banana tree, you'll see something like this. Maybe even 3 clusters, but I don't think I got these spaced out just right. Proportionally, that is. They look a little big. And I'm not sure how many clusters are on a tree. What I looked up normally just for the illustrations just showed 1 cluster, but there may be more. Alright, and there's your banana tree. It's not the greatest, but it'll work. Alright, hope you enjoyed the drawing, and here's you some music.